Alrighty, well, welcome to my Foundation of Music Theory course. This videos are gonna be your guide. Hopefully, it'll be a way to kind of have a sort of reference that you can use before or after or meanwhile. Or whilst you go through the course. So, right, well, section 1, it's all about staff, stave, notes, and the clefs. So in this section, you learn how we write music, right? In a, you'll see that we talk about pitch, we talk about names of the notes, not as much about the duration of notes yet. So at the moment, it's only about understanding how we recognize, in a staff, what note is what. How should we call a certain note or another? All right. So the staff, also called stave, it's basically these 5 parallel lines. We'll see also that there are ledger lines. So basically, somebody decided at some point in Europe to use 5, but of course the sounds, imagine like all the sounds in the world, like the highest, squeaky sound to the lowest boomy sound, right? We can write any of those sounds. As far as we can hear it, we can write it, right? Imagine a synth going really high up, or a double bass going really far down, or a piano going really down, right? If you look at the piano, when you go to the left, you're going down, in theory, and we go down in frequency, so lower sounds. Whereas if we go to the right, we are going up, so up in pitch, up in frequency, higher frequencies, higher notes. Imagine like a violin or flute, something going really high pitch. All right, cool. So yeah, I don't want to spoil the entire course, but we'll go through all the details. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right? And we'll learn these are our natural notes. We'll see what that means in a future section. Anyway, something really, really important we cover in this section are the clefs. So if you think about it, we talked about being able to write all sorts of different notes, pitches, from a really high violin note to a very low double bass, bass note, cello note. Okay, in 5 lines. Sounds a bit impossible, right? To be able to write all of that into those, 10, 12 combinations, 4 spaces and 5 lines. So we use clefs, right? So at the start of each staff, there's a little symbol. Okay, now, for example, here I took a screenshot of Fur-Elise by Beethoven. It's a piano piece. So yeah, so the piano, piano music is written like this. It's over 2 staves with a key here. That's the treble clef. We'll find out right now, right after this, what that means. On the top staff, so that's the right hand, and a bass clef on the lower staff, which is for the left hand. So yeah, right hand and left hand read in different using different clefs on the piano. That's quite amazing. Okay, now you'll see these 2 types of clefs. You see this one here kind of revolves around a line, kind of going around it and up. This one starts with a dot on the line, and there's a little colon symbol there over the line. So we can see this bass clef is on the 4th line, yeah, or this treble clef is on the 2nd line. And the design is different, so you see there are quite different designs, so we'll find out what that means. Now if we look at the treble clef, now the treble clef is a G clef. This means that it's a clef that the line on which it sits on is the G line. Okay, so this 2nd line defines the G. There you go. So everything else is kind of built in relation to that. So the C will be, you see, there you go, that's a ledger line going through this note below the staff, and that's a C. On a treble clef, the note just below the staff with a ledger line going through it is a C. And then there's another C on the 3rd space. Alright? Okay, here we go. This is the same thing over 2 octaves. An octave is the distance between 2 notes with the same name, so C to C to C, right? And we are going, in this case, up. All right, now the bass clef is an F clef. So remember that colon, that line it starts on, that will be an F line. So this guy here, that's an F. So we build the rest based on that. So you see C will be on a 2nd space, whereas on the treble clef we add a C on the 3rd space, because G is the 2nd line, A, B, C, going G 2nd line, A 2nd space, B 3rd line, C 3rd space. On a bass clef we'll go down from F, which is the 4th line, 3rd space is E, 3rd line is D, 2nd space is C, right? Okay, so the piano reads like that. So with a treble clef on the right hand, a bass clef on the left hand. Now there's another type of clef, which is a C clef, and there are actually 5 C clefs. Is widely used by singers. All right, so you see the treble clef, it's a G clef on the 2nd line. Soprano is a C clef on the 1st line. So being a C clef, that 1st line will be a C. Mezzo-soprano, it's a C clef on the 2nd line. Alto is on the 3rd line with a C on the 3rd line. Tenor is a C clef on the 4th line. And baritone is a C clef on the 5th line, can also be an F clef on the 3rd line, probably based on the pitch of what they're playing. Sometimes instruments move between clefs, cellos move between bass clef and probably baritone or tenor when they go high up. I don't remember. Cool. Now there's some exercises as well, but I'll let you figure those out. Now, just to help you quickly, I've written this. Well, there's no real music here, but it's basically a piano part with the 5 singers, right? So the piano you see is a treble clef and bass clef. So this one here will be a C on a treble clef. D, E, F, G, A, B, C again. All right, and we can go up to D, E, F, G. We can push it up to A, to B, and then to C again. Right, so you see how A on a treble clef, there's a note above the staff with a ledger line through it. That's an A. If I go up to B, oops, too far. That's a B. So over the staff, treble clef again, over the staff with a ledger line underneath it. You see, and that, imagine that being a sixth line just above the staff, and that's another C. All right, now this C on a treble clef can also be written like this on a bass clef. So if I actually take this one here, oops, there you go, this C, that note there on a bass clef is the same sound as that on a treble clef, right? So that's where these two meet. All right, perfect. So, but remember, the treble clef is a G clef, so it sits on the line that identifies the G. F clefs sit on the line that identify the F. So we build the rest with it. So F, G, G, A, B, and then C. And then these C clefs, these are again less used. I mean, unless you sing opera or sing in a choir, stuff like that, you're probably never gonna see those. I never see those. And I'm a musician, so I mean, I don't do much classical, so that's probably why, but I haven't seen these guys in a while. I mean, I pull them out now to teach you about them. But anyway, just to know they exist, so you don't freak out if you see it. You know that that's a C clef. So in this case, the C will be on the first line, C on the second line, C on the third line, C on the fourth line, C on the fifth line. And of course, there's a difference in pitch as well. And, clearly this has become a system that allows us to, basically with the bass clef, we are taking the whole thing, right? We said this C here is the same as C here. So you imagine, we basically flipped, we've gone down a whole octave and more, right? So that I can now go down to this C and then to this C, right? So this C here is 1, 2, 3, 4 octaves from this guy. Okay, so if you imagine on a piano, the C in the middle of the keyboard, you go down 2 C's on the left and 2 C's on the right. That's how far this note, oops, that's a B, that's a C, this note and this note are 4 octaves apart. All right, we achieved that by changing the clef. All right, cool, good luck, and see you on section 2.